question's real quick statement. I messed it up. What do you want to do?
What does Andy want me to do?
It's hot out there, Coach.
What's Andy want?
Let's go right into questions.
Okay. And see, that's the fun part about the spring game. You get to make decisions like that.
Raise your hand. We do have a question mic just so Coach can hear. So.
The fill-in SID.
Andy, go.
PJ, when you look at where you guys are in spring, is this where you want to be? What sort of things do you feel like you want to improve on and where you're at right now?
Yeah, I think this was a very unique spring because of how many players you have, right? We've never had this many scholarship players during a spring. You're talking a lot more than you ever have. Sometimes you can have 65 guys during the spring that are on scholarship, and now you have over 90. That's a lot, and you got to be able to create that depth for the future, and I think that's what we were able to do. We were able to take our floor and raise the floor and take the ceiling and put the ceiling higher. And that's what you want to do with your whole football team. And that's what my message to them in the locker room was, is that I saw a lot of development from every single player on this football team. And what they have is really special together. If we separate or one goes this way or one goes that way and you leave that team part, that's really hard to be able to have that camaraderie and that togetherness. And that's what I feel from this team. And like I said, that's the whole focus, this TGIF, this togetherness, gratitude, identity, and focus. That's been the whole thing this spring. So I've seen a lot. I mean, that was a lot of fun, one somewhat injury-free. So we kept it really short, had a hard cutoff at 1 o'clock, which was really good, kept to that. I got a lot of guys playing time. Everybody played. And, that was the whole goal of the spring game. But also put guys in positions that maybe they haven't been in before. But not only that, this is the first time in over a year and a half that we've been in front of fans, like true fans. To get that experience back and not have it be the first time when some of these guys who've never even played in front of fans last year or rookies this year or freshmen this year, to give them that type of environment of what game day's like. But just want to thank all of our fans, the 10,000 fans that were here. That was awesome. And what a beautiful day in Minnesota, over 80 degrees. You got the Derby, you got the NFL draft. I mean, just a wonderful day in the state of Minnesota. So very thankful for our fans and very grateful that you came out.
Philly special, and then you get Daniel throwing a touchdown pass as well. How involved were the trick plays, and especially with the fans to get them involved? Kind of, what was your idea on those trick plays?
I provide the blueprint. I provide the rules of the spring game. The coaches get to decide what they get to do with all that. So you were allowed 2 trick plays, right? And they developed those and did that. You were only allowed to run 3 defenses. You could only blitz 4 total times amongst the whole game. So you could use 4 in a row or 1 per quarter, however you wanted to be able to do that. So we scaled it down of what we do so everybody could play and everybody can play fast. Because some guys are here that know a lot more than others, but we wanted everybody to be able to play fast and show us what they can do so we can evaluate it. But that's the decision of those trick plays. Those are fun. They get the crowd involved, and there's a lot of them. So we got a very creative staff, and I'm not sure you'll see those, but you'll probably see some others as we go forward.
PJ, Chris Ottman-Bell was, to many people, already penciled in as your wide receiver 1, and he had a really good game, hauling in 4 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown, winning MVP. What do you think about his connection with Tanner Morgan going forward?
I think it's really important. I think for any quarterback to be able to be in sync with all your wideouts, not just the guy that's going to really kind of carry the group and carry the load. But I think Tanner's done a really good job of bringing that group along. Same with Chris Ottman-Bell. I mean, there's been a huge weight on Chris Ottman-Bell's shoulders this offseason with taking a young wide receiving core and maybe an inexperienced wide receiver core, more than we've had here with inexperience, and bringing them along. You saw some new guys get out there. And again, some made some plays, some didn't. But again, he's done a great job of bringing them along. So not only that, Daniel Jackson's had a really good spring as well. We had some guys out today for various reasons. I won't get into all that, but we still have contact tracing. We still have all that stuff. I mean, so it's not like you could test back in like you could during the season when you're getting tested every time. So there was a lot of things kind of leading into that where maybe you didn't see some of the guys out there today. But we had a great spring for the most part, somewhat injury-free. So we're really excited about, the future.
And what do you think about Brady Boyd, Clay Geary, and you touched on Daniel Jackson? What do you think about their performances today, adding to that depth as they haven't had much experience in past seasons?
Yeah, it's that camaraderie again, right? There's going to be a lot of people that catch passes in 2021. And Brevin Spanford didn't play today either. Some of the tight ends, we'll get them back. That's what I want to find out. That's why we played it like a game. because I want to see whose eyes are too big, right, and who can stay in the moment and make plays. And Clay made a bunch of those down there, and he's going to provide depth to this football team. He's come a long way. He's a veteran. He's played a lot of football, been here a long time, and he's got an opportunity in front of him, and I know he'll take advantage of that.
How encouraged today were you by Terrell Smith and Ja Joyner?
Very encouraged. You know, we've got some guys that were out, which you didn't see out there, probably sitting there. You know, we didn't have Boye or Big O either. No disciplinary reasons, just so everybody understands that. And there was none of that. But, you know, a guy like Ja Joyner gets a huge opportunity to play a ton of snaps. And, again, that's talking about taking your floor, not in a bad way, just maybe the most youthful guys and inexperienced guys on your team and bringing them forward in the spring. That's what it's about. Create that depth, find out who can be able to perform in that type of pressure situation, who can make plays, who can be a part of this thing as we keep going forward. So I'm really proud of the progress they've made, especially Ja. I mean, he's grown up a lot. He's got a long way to go. I mean, his ceiling is so high, guys. I mean, this guy is a talented football player. He just came in a little underdeveloped, and this is a developmental program, and we're always going to tell him why. And he is a great listener. He's taken advantage of his opportunities, and he's applied them. He's got a long way to go, but I'm really happy for him and the success he had today because I think that's going to springboard him forward in the work ahead.
Some of your young pass rushers really flashed today. How encouraging is it to see the development from that group over the course of the spring?
It's really exciting because, you know, when you start to look at even our O-line, right? I mean, we got a really good offensive line. And you start to look at, you know, split them up a little bit. And there was a little bit more experience on the gold team, I think, than the maroon team when you look at the O-line. But we have to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. And we got to be able to do it with rush and four. And that was the whole point of, you know, keeping the blitzes to a minimum was to make sure we could evaluate pass rush. And we were able to do that today. And I think a lot of guys opened our eyes.
Yeah, PJ, how'd you feel about Zach Annexsted's performance today, and especially leading the team down at the end?
That's tremendous. I mean, those are the moments that you can't simulate in practice. You do everything you can to do it in practice, but you need a game environment in front of fans in the stadium to create that moment. And I thought both quarterbacks did a really good job moving the ball down the field, managing the offense, getting people where they needed to be, you know, distributing the ball. I thought all the quarterbacks did a really good job of that. And again, I'm proud of that room because they're very selfless, and they're a very connected group. I think Coach Sanford's done a great job of connecting that group over the spring, even more than they've ever been. But they're all competitors, and I love the competition we had during the spring, which will set up the competition in the fall.
Coach, Tyler Nubin plays a pretty physical game. He had 7 tackles on the day, stood a couple of guys up. Do you want your DBs to kind of play with a little more physicality like the way he does?
Absolutely, and that's one of the more, if you take Coney Durr kind of out of it, right? And Howden is one of the most experienced guys we've had, but he's still somewhat of a young player. But he's really talented. Tyler Nubin flies around. I think he's done a great job in developing his coverage skills in the spring, better than he's ever been. I think he knows the defense more than he ever has. He's playing into his role. He understands his role, not trying to do too much, and he's very aggressive. And we want to be able to take that aggressiveness and funnel it into his strengths, right, and let him go. And that's what, you know, we were able to do today as well as some of the other safeties.
PJ, Derek LeCaptain had a big day today, interception and a forced fumble. Where does he sit right now? And where do your linebackers in general, because that's kind of an open competition, where does that sit right now?
Yeah, everybody set themselves up. We'll evaluate the spring film, especially the spring game, and you know, when we get to training camp, it'll set you up for a position of what you're going to be placed into come training camp. But Derek he's the heartbeat of this football team. If you talk about a guy that's an inspiration and brings positivity and energy to everything he does, that's what Derek LeCaptain does. And the team absolutely loves him. He's a quad team member on special teams. He's a captain on special teams. And, you know, the players love him. And he does a really good job. He made a bunch of plays, forced a fumble today. So, again, the competition at linebacker is very competitive, and it will be. But again, these guys continue to go and work together and compete with each other. We're going to have a lot of depth at that position, not only just on defense, but special teams as well. And that's where that body type's got to be able to help us on special teams. But he really is a special player.
PJ, when it comes to kicker, it's kind of a work in progress with you guys. What can you tell me about what it might look like in the fall with Tricklet and Mobley? Is Lance coming back? And kind of, can you get an update on personnel there?
Yeah, I think I can only comment still on one. But we've got 2 guys coming in, and we're really excited about those guys. And they'll compete with Dragon and Brock, and the best guy is going to kick. Simple. The best guy's going to kick. So we're excited. In a few weeks, we'll get those guys. and they'll be competing with each other all summer without us. And then once we hit training camp, that'll be a competition that's, very aggressive, I would say. Not necessarily contact from the kickers, but aggressive in the competition matter. And that's something we have to be able to nail down this year. We've got to be able to score points from a lot of yards out. And we weren't able to do that last year. And that hurt us in a lot of games. And I'm well aware of that for a lot of reasons. So, it's going to be I'm looking forward to the competition for sure.
Coach, Brady Boyd had 2 receptions for 60 yards today. As an incoming freshman, how do you think he's gelling with the quarterbacks and wide receivers as today was his first game in action at TCF?
Yeah, I mean, that's his first game ever, right? And that's his first time to be in front of people like this. But he played football in Texas, right? And he'd been in the state championship at Texas. And he is a big-time player in big-time situations. And he showed that today. I mean, that's a true freshman that just got here. He's got a lot of development, long way to go. But he showed what he's capable of doing already. And, again, his ceiling is so high. So, again, we're going to have some youthful receivers, help us this year, and some new guys as well. So he provides depth as well because you saw what he can do. And goes up and makes a really nice play on the go ball down here. Catch, breaks a tackle on the other on the hitch and does a nice job. So he's an unbelievable human being. Unbelievable. So just really proud of his day.
The program had 2 players drafted in the top 75 for the first time since '78. How exciting is that for the program, and what do you think of where Bateman and St. Just ended up?
I think it's really exciting. I mean, I love where our program is. I love where our program's headed. I love next year's draft. Hate to even think ahead, but you think of that as a head coach, and then you look at the 3-year combined draftees after next year. But I'm really proud of Rashad Bateman and Benjamin St. Just. You're talking about guys that came in here, and as a coach, your job is to be able to listen to them of what they want to be able to have their future look like. So they lay out all their dreams, hopes, and aspirations, and as a head coach, you do everything you can to fulfill that. And you do everything to be able to put a blueprint in front of them, then they got to go build the house. And I'm really proud of the progress they've made, how well they've represented the University of Minnesota. And when you get 2 guys, we only had 2 guys eligible to be drafted, and we had both guys, one in the first round, one in the third round. It just shows that you can accomplish anything you want here at the University of Minnesota, right? And it was a big day for us. It really was. And we had some other guys from different school that we recruited that we're really happy for, and D. Eskridge, and he's a special human being as well. So those are the reasons why you coach. The wins are great. Sometimes, at one point in your career, you're not going to be able to win enough games, but those things last forever. And I know our assistant coaches feel that way. Our coordinators feel that way. Our staff feels that way. Our administration feels that way. Our job is to take them from where they are to where they've always dreamed of being, and it worked out for those 2 young men. And we're really proud of them and happy for them.
PJ, I just have a question. What was the quarterback situation in the second half? Because Cole Kramer came in for 1 drive, and then he was pulled for Tanner Morgan to come back in. Was there any reason for that?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into all the certain things, but Cole missed some time, during spring, and basically just got back in the last few days. So that's got a series in there, and we weren't gonna run him at all today. The quarterbacks weren't live. Got him a few reps, and but he's very talented, and he's gonna have an opportunity to help us this year in some way, shape, or form. But that's pretty much why.
We have one last one for Coach, or is everyone else set? Andy, we'll finish with you.
I'd like to ask 2 if possible. Number 1, Fa'alele. Obviously, he was involved in some trick plays again, but just having him back out there after last year, can you kind of walk through kind of the process for him as well as coming back from an injury?
Yeah, I think Dan Nickel, our strength coach, our nutritionist, have done a tremendous job in getting him to be able to perform at a really high level when he's been gone from us for so long. His weight, he's like about, he looks really good. So where he was weight-wise to where he is, I'm so proud of him. He looks really good. And he's got a long way to go and keep developing. But he's, it's just having him and how big he is a huge advantage for us, right? And our offensive line is big, right? And you got to be pretty big in the Big Ten to be able to have a good run game and pass pro and things like that. But what I like is the way he's been able to help himself be really good at both and develop in both, the pass pro plus the run game. He's excited to be back, and he looks great. So I'm excited for him this year as he keeps developing.
We got author PJ Fleck on stage. What is the collaborative process like with John Gordon? He's written a lot of books, worked with Dabo Sweeney, a lot of coaches and different things. What's that process like, and what can we expect in June?
Well, let's not forget, I got an 18 on the ACT. I think I got a 15 in the reading and English writing part. So before we get too excited, that's why you team up with somebody like John Gordon. We decided to do something that would benefit Masonic Children's Hospital right here at the University of Minnesota. Wrote it during the pandemic. It did not take very long. I know people are going to write like, oh, maybe that's why they went 3 and 4. I mean, it took like 20 hours total to write, and I did it like in April. And then you add to it and edit it. It doesn't take a lot of time when you spread it out over that long. But obviously, we wanted to be able to spread some hope, love, positivity, togetherness, culture, and be able to benefit the Children's Hospital. And, especially when, our country's going through what it's going through. And I've said that very openly and publicly that, those patients over there at the hospital, they can't have visitors, can't have live visitors, get one parent in there at one time, just put ourselves in their shoes for a while. And that's why we ended up writing the book. It's about Row the Boat. So I think you can figure that out. But it comes out in June, and like I said, just really excited about it. John Gordon is just a tremendous author. I'm a huge fan of him, always have been. And if you kind of look at what Row the Boat's about and look at his type of books, they're pretty short, sweet, to the point. It kind of made sense for us. So again, but it's going to benefit the Children's Hospital, and we had a lot of people team up on this, and we just appreciate their efforts as well.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate everybody. It was also this last thing I'll say. It was really good to have our former players back here at the University of Minnesota. You saw Carter, you saw Kamal, you saw Super Bowl champ. You have to say that prior to saying his name now, Antoine Winfield Jr., and just a ton of our alumni. That was so exciting. That's what the spring game's all about. Those guys be able to come back, be with our fans, connect with our fans, connect with our team. It's really a special day, and it springboards us here into the summer and in recruiting. So I look forward to meeting with you then. So take care, everybody. Enjoy the Derby. Enjoy the draft. Row the boat, Sky Mile. Go Gophers. Thanks.
For student athletes, we'll have Tanner Morgan, Chris Bell, Mohammed Ibrahim, and Niles Pinckney. So they'll be here momentarily. I think Mohammed is on his way. We got Coach Mohammed Ibrahim. Once he gets to the podium, we'll just jump into questions. All right, raise your hand and Reed will bring you the microphone. Mo, how have you tried to lead and kind of coach up the running back room as you've kind of taken a kind of an observing role and done your work at other times?
So before the spring ball even hit, I knew that Ramadan was going to hit around this time. And Coach Fleck, Coach Nickel, Coach Burns all put together a plan where I can still get my workout in and still be able to be around the team. So working out in the morning and then coming in the afternoon and just having that presence around the team, leading the running backs, Trey Potts, Cam, Preston. We had a great plan to just attack this whole spring, and I felt like we executed very well.
First question would be, who helped you decide how to try to dress like Coach Fleck today?
I would say like Wednesday, Tuesday of this week, we was doing like some promotional stuff with the drafting and stuff like that. And I actually went inside G's office and I was just like, I want to do something fun. I want to go dress up as Coach Fleck, get his whole outfit together, wristband, sunglasses. And Brady actually came to me in my meeting. We got fitted, we got the whole polos and stuff like that. So it was a lot of game planning, but I would like to thank G and Brady for that.
And then have you talked to Rashad at all since he's been drafted by Baltimore? How excited are you to see him go there?
Yeah, I grew up a Ravens fan, so I was rooting for him. And then once I think Bate told me like 3-4 weeks ago that he was talking to the Ravens, and I was just anxious to see if they was gonna pick him or not. When it got close to the draft, around the draft pick time, I was gonna call him, but they told me that wasn't smart to do. And then when he got picked, I was excited. I waited like 5-10 minutes. I called him. He was excited. He asked me what places he should go eat at and stuff like that. So it's just nice that he's gonna be back in my hometown. And when I go back in like a week or so, I'm gonna go see him. So it's nice.
As a leader in the running back room, how much growth have you noticed from some of the younger guys that are starting to get a lot of reps here in the spring?
Yeah, we definitely missed this spring ball last year. Just with the reps that they needed just to develop as a back. You've seen a lot of these running backs develop a lot in their own way. They're not trying to be like nobody. They're all being themselves. You've seen it on display today. Everybody's different, and everybody brings different stuff to the table. So this spring ball gave us football reps that we actually needed just to get their feelings right.
As a running back, how would you critique Sam Schluter's touchdown carry?
He did a pretty good job. He lowered his shoulders when they got to the goal line. And, yeah, he got into the end zone fair and square, so he did a pretty good job.
Coach Sanford talked about on Tuesday how he likes to have that bell cow back, the guy he wants to give the plethora of the touches to. So you being obviously the reigning Big Ten running back of the year, how's that sound to you?
Sounds great to me. I'm ready for the load. I know that I got a great backup support system behind me. Coach Burns is going to prepare me for it with the different looks that I might get this year. So I'm ready for the challenge, and I'm ready. And I know my O-line's ready for the challenge. Tight end's ready for the challenge. So we're going to see what this year holds for us.
Knowing that the running offense was the big thing in 2020 and knowing that your entire O-line's back, you're back, the number one priority for every opposing defensive coordinator going against you guys is to stop the run. So when you see 7-8 guys in the box this year, kind of compared to maybe some lighter boxes going forward, how do you not get, say, frustrated knowing that there's more guys in the box means more guys that you have to make miss?
Yeah, I actually watched film on Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins this spring, and just to see how they did it, they load up the box pretty heavy, and you just have to know that, you might not get a big play every 4 or 5 runs, but it's going to happen. You just got to stay patient, and you got to keep the energy high with the whole line. Just knowing that, when we do hit it, we got to hit it big when it do happen. So.
We have any more for Muhammad, or are we ready for Tanner? One more, Ryan Burns, go ahead, and we'll slide Tanner up.
I mean, we've seen some wheel routes from the running backs in the past. How's your wheel route running ability?
Pretty good. I've been practicing it, different techniques to get open.
All right, thanks, Muhammad.
Go team.
We'll bring up Tanner, and then after Tanner, we'll have Niall. Tanner, once Tanner gets to the podium, we'll go ahead and just jump right into questions.
What's up, guys? Good to see y'all again.
So how would you assess your day today? And when you kind of look at some of the things you talked about a couple weeks ago, working on moving around in the pocket with pressure in your face, how do you think you fared in that today?
Yeah, I think I did pretty well in that department. There's a couple throws I'd like to have back. Early on, ball placement, so I got to continue to be more accurate. It's definitely something I'll be working on this summer. But I think our guys did a really good job making plays outside. Chris did a phenomenal job. Mike did a great job. Those guys, made plays when they were there. But we just got to continue to develop that and make quicker decisions, get the ball out of my hand, and that's what I'm going to continue to work at.
Tanner, even though you're all one team, how would you gauge the temperature of the competitiveness down there on the field today?
Oh, it was competitive. Obviously, Gopher Football is bigger than maroon and gold, clearly, but it was competitive. Each team was doing whatever they could to win the game, and the guys were really into it, and we wanted to be able to win a game. And the maroon squad, we did a really good job of playing with each other and responding there. Didn't come out too hot in the second half, but T-Time made a great play at the end of the game. He almost had the one-handed pick, which would have been sick. But he did a great job. We talk about narrow one-possession games, and that's what it came down to. It came down to literally the last play of the game, and T-Time made it happen.
Tanner, you and Chris Ottman-Bell had great chemistry today. what are your feelings about going forward with him, going into the summer and the season with him as your wide receiver one?
Yeah, obviously it's an elite feeling. Chris does a phenomenal job of getting open, coming down with balls. I mean, we saw it here out today, and we've seen it all spring. Chris making 50-50 type catches, and obviously me and Chris been here for 5 years together now, and love that dude to death. And he's done a phenomenal job leading this team, and obviously his role is very important, and it was really good to see him go out there and do what he did today.
For other wide receivers, obviously we saw Daniel Jackson last year. Who do you see? We didn't get to see Dylan Wright today, and I think a lot of people were excited if they got that chance, but they didn't. Who on down the list do you feel is kind of climbing up? Yeah, I think our room's very deep. Obviously, there's a lot of guys that can make a lot of plays, and we feel really good about a lot of guys in that room. True freshman Brady Boyd made some plays today. He did a phenomenal job. Played free, played loose, did a really good job. And obviously, we love Mike, love Chris, Dalen, Brock, Daniel. So we have a lot of guys that can make a lot of really good plays for us and have a lot of strengths. And that's what we're really going to continue to develop as we get in the summer. It's going to be huge for us to really do that unrequired work together, quarterbacks and wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, to continue to create that. But we have a lot of guys that can do a lot of special things, and we're really, feel really good about that group.
Tanner, I noticed the play where you escaped pressure and found Brown Stevens on that crossing route over the middle. How much have you focused on pocket movement this offseason so far?
Yeah, it's been a huge emphasis for me, being able to not create false pressure, not step up when I don't need to, and being more subtle. And, that's something I'm going to continue to work on because I have to continue to get better at it. But it's definitely something that I'm grateful for, the coaching that I have, being an emphasis to continue to hone in on that and be better to be able to, move, settle, and get the ball out compared to taking a sack or taking off for a 6-yard gain, and just continue to move the sticks because that's very important. I think it was 3rd and 10. Mike ran a little hook route. The protection was good, and I think MJ crossed somebody's face and first down, and we ended up moving. I think we scored that drive too. So being able to get those completions and get moving, especially on 3rd down, is critical for us. And I think there was times that our team did it today and times that we didn't. And when we did, I think we ended up scoring most of the time. So, yeah.
Tanner, after playing in empty stadiums most of last season, what was it like today to see a few thousand people out there, and what was the atmosphere like on the field? Yeah, that was elite.
First off, the stadium, the game selling out in 90 minutes, filling the 10,000 capacity that we were allowed to have. We can feel the energy that this state has, that Gopher Nation has, to support us, and we love that. We could feel that today. The guys were excited, really excited to play in front of a, sold out TCF Bank Stadium to its capacity, and it was so fun. To just see the fans, to play in TCF on a beautiful day and May 1st, and we love our fans. We love what they bring to the stadium, and we're very grateful to have the support that we do.
Yeah, Tanner, has your team found a new rather large Wildcat quarterback?
Say that one more time.
Have you found a new rather large Wildcat quarterback today?
Sammy Schluter. Daniel, yeah. Both of those guys. Those plays were awesome, though, right? Those weren't even on weren't on the Maroon team, but Daniel threw a dot to Ko. That was pretty cool to see. And then Sam too. Sam lowered the shoulder on, I think, Bishop or somebody, but yeah, he wanted that. That probably made his year right there. But that was cool. Those guys executed the play well, and that's what Daniel ran in 2 years ago, and now he threw a touchdown. So he's a spring game superstar.
Take one or two more. Go ahead.
Tanner, I know it's only a spring game, but how much do you really take away, whether it's, I think we're farther along than what I had thought after a game like this today, or what we need to kind of improve on? What do you kind of take away from a game like this?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I think you take away things of, first and foremost, okay, what do we have to improve on? What do we have to continue to work on in the summer? And again, it comes back to the details. It comes back to executing, the most simple of plays that we have. And then secondly, it's good to see guys step up and make plays on both sides of the ball, both teams, maroon and gold. But it's fun. It was a fun cap to our spring ball for us, and it was fun to see guys go out there, make plays, have fun, and play a competitive game that came down to the wire.
Take one more for Tanner, and then we'll bring up Niles.
So Coach Sanford talked about on Tuesday about how he knows what makes you tick, you know what makes him tick. So now that you've had a complete offseason together, face-to-face, spring ball, what's the plan that Sanford has put forward for you going now into fall camp?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously continue to spend time together, to continue to speak the same language, understand where we need to go as offense, where we're going to go and what steps we have to do to take there, what steps we have to take to get there. That's obviously the key as we have conversations going into the summer of, okay, these are the areas we need to improve on. These are the areas we're good at, but let's make it elite at. Let's be elite in these areas, and we're going to address that, attack that, and make a plan to continue to take the next right step that we have to do. And the summer and going into fall camp is huge. It's obviously a huge thing, and it's exciting that we're going to get a fall camp, So that's cool. That's going to be exciting. Yeah, thanks, guys. Awesome to see y'all today.
Once Niles gets to the podium, we'll go ahead and jump into questions.
Grieger with the St. Paul Pioneer Press. It's nice to meet you. Can you this is the first time we get the chance to chat with you. Can you kind of walk us through why you decided to come to Minnesota?
I think the first thing was I had a conversation with Coach Wood, defensive line coach. He messaged me as soon as I entered the portal, and I kind of I took that to heart. That was the first day I entered. He talked to me, and the first thing he did was he said, "We're going to get you to talk to Coach Fleck." And I talked to Coach Fleck, and I love the way he has a culture. He wants to push everybody. He wants everybody to push you, not just as a player, but as a man. And he has a competitive edge to him that I really love. He has the culture he's building around here. He wants guys to really grow and push yourself and exhaust everything you have, and that's the kind of coach I really loved. And I remember watching back to 2019 when that year when they beat Penn State, and I remember watching that game. And I didn't know much about Minnesota, but actually talking to him, I see what motivated him, the motivation he brings to the team to win games like that.
You played over 1,000 snaps at Clemson between your 4 years. So when you made the decision that you wanted to play another year here, what are your goals here for your time at Minnesota, and what are you going to be trying to prove?
I would say most of my goals here, first things first, team comes first. Well, I want to help the position group, help the young guys that are here right now, help them grow, get better. I know only have a year left, but I want to help these guys grow, get better, really push themselves and everything like that. Then help win games first, because team comes first. So without us winning games together as a group, I feel like my goals can't be succeeded. And after that, just make everybody better. And then my individual goals, they come second, but at the end of the day, the team comes first. And we were trying to win games, win a Big Ten championship.
Niles, some of the young pass rushers really stood out today during the spring game. Over the course of the spring, how much growth have you noticed from those guys working alongside of them?
Oh, big spring, especially with everything going on. We had 10-week workout program. That was a grind. We grinded through that, and then seeing these guys grow from each practice, it was really happy to see. Even seeing guys like Jaw Joyner, D'Angelo Carter, people like that, and seeing them grow and get better. I really love seeing that, because that shows that we can make ourselves a really deep D line, and that to win games, that's what you need.
PJ talked about you coming in and being a leader. What do you gain from a gold standard program like Clemson and the way things are done there, and try to bring it over here?
I feel like you learn, everybody knows Clemson, we're just seeing in the playoffs like that. They're in the playoffs every year, certain things weird like that. And I feel like you just learn having guys come before you. So when I came in, I had guys like Christian Wilkins, Cleveland Farrell, Dexter Lawrence, Austin Bryant, had guys like that. I took things from them, learned how to be a leader. And I feel like the best thing I could do here at Minnesota is bring those tools that I learned there and bring it here. So it kind of gives us a working attitude, work ethic. Nobody can beat us. Nobody can outwork us. And that competitive edge that you need to bring each and every day.
Are there a lot of things that remind you of Dabo Swinney with PJ Fleck?
They're two different people, but I feel like at the end of the day, they're both competitive people that want to win games and make guys better on and off the field as football players and men.
Niles, what really grabbed my attention while watching you at Clemson was your ability to play multiple different alignments on the defensive line. How valuable do you think that versatility will be in this scheme?
I just feel like I just want to help win any way I can. So wherever they want to put me at, they want to play inside, outside, whatever they want me to do. I feel like I would do it for the team. Because, like I said before, the team comes first, and Coach Fleck really talks about whatever the team needs, not what you want, it's what the team needs.
Coach Fleck talked about how there's a possibility, and so did Coach Rossi, about you guys could rotate 5, 6, 7 guys at defensive tackle. Knowing that if you only have to play 30 snaps a game or so, knowing that you can give it all in those 30 snaps for someone who's played 60, 70 snaps, how nice is it to potentially be able to be fresh all the time?
Oh, that's great because, every time you go out there, you're fresh, you play exhausted. And then, as soon as you exhaust everything you have another guy, he's going to exhaust everything. And I feel like teams can't keep up with that because it's like you think he's going to be tired, but offensive linemen, they don't rotate that much. But if you have a fresh D-line coming in, like guys that are like you saw today, a lot of young guys that stepped up, and we have young guys coming in making plays, then you got experienced guys keep rolling and rolling, I feel like we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
What has stood out while you've worked alongside D'Angelo Carter over the past few months here?
He's a guy that he wants to get better. He always asks questions. He just wants to grow and get better each and every day. He has a great work ethic. I love to see it. He's a guy. He's not always serious all the time. He lightens the room up. But at the end of the day, he's a great worker, and I really love that. He wants to get better, and any little thing he can, he always asks me questions. Me being a guy that's experienced and played a lot of football, so he doesn't feel like he knows everything. He feels like he wants to learn and keep growing.
Chris gets to the podium, so go ahead and take questions. Chris, you can take your mask off the podium.
Gotcha.
What's going on, everyone?
Chris, how did it feel today with your connection with Tanner Morgan and, your first day as the leader of this wide receiver corps, as the wide receiver one?
It was awesome. I love playing with Tanner. I've been playing with Tanner for years. We've been connected since high school. So it's awesome to get out there, throw it around, get loose, to let it cut it loose. So it was awesome playing with him. Felt good, just flying around and just being happy. So.
Coach Simon talked about now that Bateman's gone, now that Tyler's gone, you're the elder statesman in the room. You're the guy who's played a lot. So when you're trying to really assume that leadership role now with, I think, something crazy like 10 freshmen in the room, what's it been like here for you this spring trying to really be that leader of the room?
It's awesome. I like taking on challenges. I'm pretty much the most experienced guy on the team, not on the team, in my position group. So knowing I got that, knowing I sat behind Ty and Bate, and, watched them and learn from them, I can give the young guys everything that I learned. It's just awesome. I love taking it on. I love coaching them up, being like a big brother to them all. So it's pretty awesome, man. I enjoy doing it. I love it. I can't wait to get back to them.
Chris, we see you and we see Daniel Jackson as guys that played last year. Who lower on the depth chart climbed the most here this spring?
I want to say everyone. I think everyone grew this spring, especially with D-Jack, Michael Brown-Stevens, Clay. Definitely, you've seen Clay making plays at the end of the game. A lot of guys are making plays. You've seen Brady Boyd, too, as well, coming up. I love all my guys. I'm sharing love with all of them. So they all grew. They all got better this spring, and I can't wait to see them all grow, man.
Talk about your leadership role. You were almost thrust into this position last year. Does it feel different because you're kind of ready for it now that Bateman's gone compared to last year where he kind of just dropped out? And what did you learn from last year for that short amount of time where you were the elder statesman for a little while?
I had a conversation with Coach Simon once last season. He said, you don't got to do anything special. You got to be a Superman, this and that. Just go play football and be a leader. I learned a lot from Bate, definitely a lot from Ty. What I learned from being here is just being patient. Your time will come. And it's coming now, and I just got to be able to take it on full of steam. So, yeah, I don't gotta do anything special. I got to be a Superman, just play me, be me, go play ball, be a team player, and everything connect for me, so.
Chris, last year was pretty unique. You didn't have much time to get timing down between the receivers and the quarterbacks, and Mike Sanford coming in as a new offensive coordinator. How beneficial has it been just to have a normal spring where you can work and gain those types of
Oh,
things?
it's definitely beneficial. We didn't have a spring ball last year, not really kind of a summer either. That kind of dipped down for us. So having a spring ball is huge. You know, getting the young guys just come in, getting them developed, and getting them used to the game. So having a spring ball this year was definitely huge, and this team took a huge step in the right direction. So it was awesome having a spring ball this year.
Winning contested catches has kind of been your MO throughout your 3 years here. Do you think it's a mindset? Is it the footwork leading up to it? Is knowing it when to meet the ball at the peak, or what's the secret there?
Coach Fleck and Coach Simon says all the time, no matter what, no matter where the ball is, every ball is an elite ball. So if it's coming your way, you got to go make the catch no matter where it's at. And just making plays, man, just having fun. You know, when I go on the field, I just think about being a kid in the backyard, just playing catch with his dad or something with his kids, just going out there and having fun, man. Me and Tennis went out there and played catch together. So it's just always fun, and I just love it, man.
Coach Simon kind of put together the 2021 plan here. What has his plan been for you going forward into the 2021 season? Where does he want you to take that next step on the field?
Just being a huge leader, being a more vocal leader, definitely. I lead with action, but I got to start using my voice now and being a more vocal leader. Just showing the guys the way, you know. I've been here since Coach Fleck has gotten here. I know, like, the whole culture. I know it all in and out. So just me being a leader, dropping it off to the young guys and all over the whole team, just being a leader. So,
Chris, as a member of the winning team, do you kind of let them know a little bit?
Definitely.
Definitely. How you celebrate today?
We were underdogs, man. So shout out to the Maroon team, everyone, defense, offense, you know. So I got to rub it in Mo's face because Mo is the coach today, you know. So I got to definitely put that in Mo's face that Maroon team won. He's going to hear that from me all day, him and Brev. So shout out to Maroon team, but also shout out to the GO team. I love those guys. I love this whole team. They all played their butts off today, and I'm just happy for them.
Obviously, T-Ty made a big play to seal it for you. When you're going up against him, obviously he's got the speed, he's got the length, and he hasn't been able to put it all together. How is he kind of developed here?
T-Tom's an awesome player, and I'll tell you what, wherever he leaves here, whenever his time comes, T-Tom's in the field corner. I go against him almost every day in practice. T-Tom's length and speed and everything. He's a great corner. It's kind of tough for me sometimes playing against him. So I love competing against him, though, and seeing him get the last interception of the game, man, that was awesome. So T-Tom was a great player, and you're going to see a lot from him this year, definitely.
Chris, what was your reaction when you saw Rashad and Benjamin get selected?
I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but on my Instagram story, I literally seen it, and I sprinted down my hallway out of my room. I was screaming. Ben came the next day. I was also screaming for Ben, too. But seeing my guys, especially Bate, man, knowing that he even came in after me and left before me, that's just awesome. You know, his time came, and, you know, it was just awesome seeing my brother get drafted first round, playing with Lamar and them. So that's awesome. I can't wait. And as soon as they get their numbers selected, I'll be buying jerseys. So, for sure.
All right, Chris, looks like we're all set.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, everyone.